Did you know that Florence is the capital of the Tuscany region in Italy? It is famous for being the home of many masterpieces of Renaissance art and architecture. In fact, Florence is known as the birthplace of the Renaissance, as many early writers and artists of the period sprung from here. It could take weeks to see everything Florence has to offer. Almost any one of its dozens of churches would be the prized tourist attraction of a smaller city. Some of its sites are among Italy's best-known icons: Ponte Vecchio, Michelangelo's David, Brunelleschi's Dome, and the entire city is a showcase of the Italian Renaissance, the humanistic art movement that broke Europe out of the Dark Ages. But even among such an illustrious collection of palaces, churches, museums, and landmarks, some stand head and shoulders above the rest. As you consider all the things to see and do in Florence, and plan your days of sightseeing, you won't want to miss the highlights that have made Florence one of Europe's most popular cities. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll tell you about the 10 best places you can visit in Florence, Italy. But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more similar content. Let's dive in. 1. Florence Cathedral and Baptistry. This one is easy. Anyone visiting Florence needs to start at the heart and soul of the city, the Duomo. Its red-tiled dome is famous all over the world for being a daring architectural experiment. Climbing to the top is one of those experiences you won't easily forget. The view from atop Brunelleschi's dome is well worth the steep and narrow climb. There are 430 steps to get to one of Florence's finest panoramas. Alternatively, you can climb Giotto's bell tower. From there, you can take pictures of the dome. Either way, don't miss the view from up there. While a visit to the interior of the cathedral is free, you need a ticket for the climb. This combined ticket also gives you access to the magnificent baptistry with its amazing mosaics and marble floor, and the Opera del Duomo Museum, where the original gates of paradise are kept. 2. Piazza Signoria and Palazzo Vecchio. The second stop is Piazza Signoria, the center of Florence's political life and its most handsome square. Here you'll find the town hall, Palazzo Vecchio, with a medieval fortress-like exterior and a splendid Renaissance interior. The Medici resided here in the 16th century and totally restored it to suit their taste. Right in front of the entrance, a copy of the statue of David welcomes visitors. The Loggia dei Lanzi is a 14th century addition to the square, originally used for public ceremonies. Today, a collection of statues is hosted under the loggia, from Roman sculptures to the 19th century. The impressive Perseus holding the head of the Medusa is a masterpiece by Renaissance sculptor Cellini. 3. The Uffizi Gallery. Just off Piazza Signoria, you find one of the most illustrious museums in the world, the Uffizi. It consists of over 60 rooms filled with Renaissance art, the most famous works being Botticelli, Leonardo da Vinci, Raffaello, Caravaggio, and many Italian and international masters. See our quick guide to the highlights of the Uffizi. Any art lover could spend days browsing around the Uffizi's rooms filled with masterpieces. And if you visit Florence, it really is worth going to see what all the fuss is about. Our advice? Book yourself on this 2-hour tour of the gallery that will give you an introduction to the most important works, so you don't get lost in the ocean of art. 4. Ponte Vecchio. One of the symbols of Florence, the Ponte Vecchio, Old Bridge, has been standing in its spot for 7 centuries, and it only gets more beautiful with age. A picture-perfect landmark, the bridge has many goldsmith and silversmith shops that still ply their trade as they did in the Renaissance. Browse in the shop windows, buy a golden fiorino as souvenir, take pictures from every angle, or simply walk across this ancient bridge and feel the centuries of history all around, while the Arno River rolls peacefully by underneath you. 5. Santa Croce Square and Church. Santa Croce Square is where games and tournaments used to be played, and today it is still the stage for the historic game of calcio and costume. That happens every 24th of June. The rest of the year, it is a spacious and lively piazza flanked by beautiful buildings. The queen of the square is the Santa Croce Church. This is a vast place with medieval frescoes that guard the tombs of the VIPs. Michelangelo, Galileo are buried here, no less. 6. Piazzale Michelangelo. Up on the hill, in the south bank of Florence, is a vast panoramic terrace where tour buses make their stop, and a few stalls offer souvenirs to the tourists that venture up here to take the best photo of the city. As far as tourist attractions in Florence go, this is the daddy. In a town full of spectacular views, this one beats them all. It's close enough to the city center to offer a great view of the monuments, with the massive Duomo dominating everything. 7. Pitti Palace and Boboli Garden. Pitti Palace is a vast and forbidding-looking palace that hosts various galleries. You find it on the Oltrarno, a few steps from the Ponte Vecchio. Here you can admire a great collection of Renaissance paintings in the Palatine Gallery, visit the 14 rooms of the Grand Royal Apartments, or browse in the Costume or Silverware Gallery. The Boboli Gardens are a vast park with Renaissance fountains, avenues, and statues. A great place to relax in the green space. 8. Santa Maria Novella Church. Santa Maria Novella is our favorite church in Florence without any doubt. It has everything from stunning frescoes to a courtyard filled with atmosphere, a facade that's pure poetry, and Masaccio's famous Trinity, where the young artist tried to use perspective, leaving his contemporaries speechless. It's very close to the main train station, and the Santa Maria Novella Square needs a bit of love and care, but you can easily spend a couple of hours in this church and really feel that you've got inside Florence's soul. 9. Accademia, the Statue of David. At the Accademia Gallery, you find one of the world's most famous statues, the David. The 4-meter-tall masterpiece by Michelangelo that astonished the Florentine when it was revealed to the public in 1504 is the star of the show. 10. Medici Chapels. Fans of Michelangelo and the Medici family surely won't miss the Medici Chapels. Financed by the Medici and designed by grand names such as Michelangelo and Bernardo Buontalenti, the chapels are a celebration of the Medici family, patrons of the art and ruler of Florence. The new sacristy is an outstanding example of Michelangelo's ingenuity and contains the tomb of Lorenzo the Magnificent and his brother Giuliano. The lavishly decorated octagonal chapel of the princes, with its profusion of inlaid marble and semi-precious stone, will astonish you. It would take weeks to see everything Florence has to offer. Almost any one of its dozens of churches would be the prized tourist attraction of a smaller city. Some of its sites are among Italy's best-known icons: Ponte Vecchio, Michelangelo's David, Brunelleschi's Dome, and the entire city is a showcase of the Italian Renaissance, the humanist artistic movement that broke Europe out of the Dark Ages. But even among such an illustrious collection of palaces, churches, museums, and landmarks, some stand head and shoulders above the rest. As you consider all the things to see and do in Florence and plan your days of sightseeing, you won't want to miss the highlights that have made Florence one of Europe's most popular cities. That was all from us today, folks. For more similar content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.